Hello ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, my name is Brad. This is my channel Animate Orange, where I build a lot of 3D metal models and show you how I do it. Today on the table we are going to build another Legends model. This time a more complicated Legends model, one of the Transformers model. I bring you Megatron. I've built the Metal Earth Megatron, I've built the big MU Metal Megatron, now it's time for the Legends Megatron. If you look on the back of the packaging for this particular model, you will notice that it is not quite as easy as Legends models usually are. But let's go to the table, open this up, see what's inside, and talk about some tools and put it together. Megatron Legends. Now, the first Transformers model from Metal Earth. Yeah, what do we have? Oh, we have a couple of things in here. A couple of pieces of metal, I should say. A couple of sheets. One usual size sheet and one half size piece of parts. It's a bit more parts in here than I expected, and some of them are a bit small. We've entered into a new level of Legends right here. I guess that kind of coincides with the slightly higher scale on the back of the packaging, because usually we're over in the second or third section of sort of greenish yellow. Now we're up here into the more yellow area. Anyway, let's open up this piece of paper that most would call the instructions. It's blank on the back, kind of tall and long on the front. I'm going to fold it back in half so it better fits on the screen and go over this ever so briefly. If this is your first Metal Earth model, not too bad a one to start with. It's a Legends model, so it should be a little bit easier, but then again, this looks like it might be a more challenging Legends model. Well, let's go over them real quick to give you an idea of how it works. You've got what they label as page 1. It's the top left hand quarter of the page, and you have your line drawing of the model, line drawing of the sheet. You've got your two sheets laid out right here, and I will grab one of them. I'll grab the bigger one as an example to lay beside that. You'll notice it's an outline of what's actually on the sheet, and you have your part numbers listed pointing at the parts, so you know what is what and where it's at. Below that you have a sample part, looks like maybe the back of its head, with the notation on fold lines, which are pre-scored areas where the parts fold, insertion holes, and insertion tabs. Insertion tabs go into insertion holes. And over here you have what I've always called the legend. Blue circle, when you see that next to a connection point in the assembly flowchart, it means to insert the tab, fold it over 90 degrees. Green triangle means to insert the tab and twist it 90 degrees to secure it. Folded ones are cleaner looking, usually outside parts. The green are more secure and usually inside parts, but there are always exceptions. You have a QR code and a web address down here. If you wanted to see a 360 model, of completed model online, you can go there for reference, and that comes in handy sometimes. And below that you start the assembly flowchart, starting of course with part 1, and then we have part 2 over here. You'll see part 1 has a red section that's indicating it folds. Actually, normally red means that part folds, but in this case this is marked red here, that's marked red here. Clearly you can see that it's been folded around, and that red part is now facing this way, and I'm assuming will connect in that fashion to part 2, which is laid out here. And then you've got the red here, which is indicating those parts fold down. And you get this. You have 3 red parts indicate that fold, and this part is red, you curve that, and it ends up plugging in over here, and this part folds. It actually, let's see here, and that is some sort of indication there that something flips around and connects with a folded over tab. Probably will understand that a little better when I go to do it. When we get to the bottom of here, we jump over to the top right quarter to page 2, pick up where we left off with part 4, part 5. Those pieces come together, and you just basically continue doing that. Folding, shaping, and adding the parts in, and putting the thing together. When you get to the bottom, or halfway through, you jump down to this quarter, continue on, and you jump then over here, continue on, folding and shaping and the parts, and when you get done at the bottom, you are finished with your model. Let's talk a little bit about tools. The very basics of what you're going to need is a pair of tweezers and some clippers. The tweezers, you can do a lot of bending, shaping, twisting of tabs, folding of things over. The clippers are going to help you get the pieces out of the sheets cleanly and easily by clipping them out instead of trying to bend them out, which can cause damage. I've also supplemented my set with some precision tweezers. I have a couple of pointed ones here. One, I ground the tip down just a little bit to give it a more sturdy tip for tabs and twisting things, and then I have a precision flat set, and between all of these I can do a lot of bending and shaping and twisting. I also strongly recommend some sort of pliers to complement your set. I have some flat nose here that have definite uses. I have some long needle nose pliers for some of the longer pieces, and then I have some curved tips for grabbing things at an angle and bending them over. For shaping round shapes, you'll find that I frequently use tools like this. These are 3D printed tools that I designed and printed for making round shapes and cone shapes. But you can use things around the house like pens, pencils, maybe large sewing or crafting needles. You can pick up some dowel rods at a craft store or hardware store, or an inexpensive drill bit set from the discount bin, and use the flat ends to do your shaping. And with the dowel rod, you can sharpen one end with a pencil sharpener, and that will give you some cone shaping as well. Talked about some tools, and I've got my basics here to get me started. I've got my metal sheets and instructions at the ready. Let's put this together. I figured out what the instructions were trying to tell me with this part. You will notice before you fold part 1 that one side is even and the other side is uneven. Place the folded part so that the even side is against part 2.
I sometimes use the side of a part as a guide to fold angles, like I am doing here. The instructions would have me wait to fold up the side with the slot on it, but I folded it part way up to show me how to shape the fist. So far, many of these joint sections have a third tab to keep one from installing a part the wrong way, but not the fist, so I had to double check that I was attaching it the correct way. There is no indication in the assembly flowchart on which way to face the engraved side or colored side of part 15. I am not sure it even matters since the part will be mostly covered up. Again, with part 16, I don't think it matters which side the engraved side goes. However, with the second part 16, I think it does matter that you place the engraved side so that you can see it once the final model is complete. I found myself opening part 19 up a little to get its second slot over the tab. I mistakenly twisted the tabs connecting these two parts together. They need to be folded so the part will sit flat. The instructions are not terribly clear as to which side of part 28 goes against part 27 or 29. One side of the folded part 28 has a bit more of an angle along the edge and the tabs are closer to the bottom. That is the side that goes against the other part. The legs on this model are very similar to the legs on the Guardians of the Galaxy Legends models. They fold up very much the same way, but have added parts, folds, and details. There was a section in the instructions that I did not understand right away what it was telling me. It was indicating to fold something over and secure it with a folded tab, but I didn't understand what. I realized after shaping the track section that there was a flap, another flap, inside that I was supposed to fold over before shaping the tracks. In that particular view, it's kind of hidden behind everything else. It is now that I realize what the instructions were saying, and now I have to move the tracks out of the way.